Welcome to KQEG and Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, fitness. Today, we catch up with two outstanding student athletes from Lacrosse Logan, CJ Siegel, Onalaska High School, Tyler Hughes. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
As we tape the show, January 2nd, you guys home for break. Let's think back, January 2nd, so 2018. What were some of the highlights of 2018 for you, CJ?
Some highlights for me was just being committed and knowing I was going to college after high school and just like starting a new chapter in my life. So I had a lot of fun in high school and I was glad to keep it rolling.
I know 2018 was a good year for you too, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was, done with my first semester of college and just getting to meet new people, getting a good relationship with my guys and teammates at Winona State. It was good.
We're going to talk about that transition too. You know, a lot of times during this time of the year, the holiday season, people reflect, and you just did a little bit, and then they set their intentions for 2019. Sometimes those intentions are unrealistic, but a lot of people set intentions that are internal intentions, meaning they're going to improve who they are. What kind of intentions do you look for, and what do you want to accomplish about yourself, CJ, in 2019?
For me, as a freshman, I just grew a lot with my teammates and just being with a whole new family and stuff like that. So for me, I want to improve my game at corner since I used to play wideout in high school. And I think I can do that in the weight room and listening to the coaches and doing other things like that.
How about some ways that maybe you would improve just who you are too overall?
Overall as myself, for me, I like school, but I want to find classes I enjoy and I can take and excel in. So for me, honestly, it comes to school. I like school a lot, so it's just finding the right classes for me and stuff I can enjoy.
You know, a lot of people, Tyler, are not comfortable in their own skin. They're not comfortable with who they are. They're always kind of looking for something that's not there. I know you're comfortable who you are, and you a lot of people admire you. How could you improve yourself in 2019?
I think I can always just be learning from other people. Like, I'm around plenty of people that can teach me new things every day, so I just want to always be learning. Like, you can be confident in yourself and think that you can't learn things or not be open to, like, being coached and stuff like that. And I feel like you can learn something new every day from new people that are wiser than you. So I feel like using that every day would be nice.
Good. Well, again, Tyler Hughes and CJ Siegel. Tyler, Winona State, you're a sophomore. Just going back to your high school days, you were an accomplished athlete, second time on the show, all kinds of awards in football. You were outstanding in basketball. You had some injuries, but you did a great deal. You had 1,900 yards and catches, first team all-conference, all-region in football, honorable mention all-state, all L-Tune Award finalists. I mean, you accomplished so much in the three sports, basketball, football, and in track and field. Kind of just real quickly, reflecting back, what are some defining moments during your high school career?
I would say for sure, starting with football, was our senior year when we won the conference for the first time in 10 years and winning a playoff game, which was something Onalaska hadn't done in a long time, and just kind of changing the culture of what Onalaska football was. Like, when I first got there, we were middle of the pack, kind of struggled every year, but by the end, once I left, we kind of established ourselves as one of the top teams every year and somebody that can always compete and be good.
What was the biggest difficulty? Now, again, you're a sophomore, so just thinking back when you transitioned from high school, you left home, a very supportive family. You left home. I mean, you're only 40 minutes away, but you left home. Was that difficult?
Yeah, it was kind of hard. It was weird not seeing my family every day because I'm really close with them, and not seeing my little brother because he's 6th grade. He's growing up, not seeing all that. But it's pretty nice being close enough, but you kind of develop, you're so busy at college playing football and everything that you kind of develop a second family there, and your coaches and teammates and everything, they're there with you right by the way, every step of the way. So
good. And I know CJ Siegel, looking back at your high school days, I don't even probably have to tell our viewers because they know exactly what you've accomplished, similar to Tyler. 8 times all-conference in track and field basketball, and in football, all-time leading scorer. In Logan High School basketball history, you broke my record.
Not.
But All-State 5 times, honorable mention, Player of the Year, senior year in basketball, co-player of the year, field athlete of the year in track and field. So you basically accomplished a great deal. It must be a sense of satisfaction that you did that, and as you look back, some really defining moments during your high school career.
For sure. To start off, even though I'm in football, I think I made the right move joining track as a freshman over baseball, just because it helped me in all my other sports through my high school career. So that was a big thing for me, and just football. Having a really good team when I was in 8th grade, I had to come in with the rest of my class and do some big things. So just working with my group and just doing the right thing on the field, that helped a lot in basketball. Just being mediocre and just improving each year. My sophomore year, I was being a pretty good team and just improving every single year. So.
When you look back on your high school days, any regrets? Something you maybe would do over again?
There's a lot of regrets, yeah, for sure. But a regret I would have is sometimes I wish I would work more on one sport than all 3, just because being in 3 sports didn't allow me to be in the weight room as much, or it didn't allow me to excel my game in one specific sport. So sometimes I regret. It's more not regretting being in the 3 sports, but more regretting not putting in the work outside practices, I would say, for that. So.
It's not easy to be a 3-sport athlete, as these 2 student athletes were in high school. And a lot of people really struggle with that in terms of time management and grades and so on. But you were up to the challenge. And, there's conjecture and articles on specialization as a high school athlete versus being well-rounded and play all the sports. What are your thoughts on that, Tyler?
I think there's a little give and take for both ways, but I know being well-rounded was good for me. I think it was good to get a balance, meet new people, meet new coaches. Like I said earlier, you're learning from different people that are wiser than you, and you're getting a new perspective from people in different sports and areas other than just one area all the time. But
we talked about this time of the year when people reflect. When you reflect back on your high school, what was maybe something that you would change if you were back in high school again?
I guess I would just say I would spend more time, like CJ said, being even when I'm in a new sport every year playing the 3 sports, I feel like I would stay a little more focused on the sports that I'm not currently playing, just keeping in mind those things and doing some different special workouts for stuff like that, because sometimes I felt like I got so out of one sport, taking time off to do a different sport, that it took me a while to get back into it, but it's not a huge deal. And
you played for a lot of coaches. You started your career, we talked about this last time you were on the show, both of you on, when you were seniors. You talked about how you began, you introduced into athletics, but you played for a lot of coaches, and now you're playing at a higher level. Describe for our viewers what you think is an ideal coach to play for.
I think an ideal coach is somebody that is very good at communicating with you and can always teach you new things in a positive way. I think sometimes hard love is a little much, but I think if you know that the coach cares about you, then things like that are okay. And just somebody who's always, you can feel like you can come to and talk to about anything, and then I feel like your trust will be there and it'll be a lot better situation.
But you want high expectations, don't you?
Definitely.
You want teachers that challenge you, and not everything is okay, you get a C in class, you get a B in class, and you have the capabilities of getting an A. So teachers should say, no, wait a minute now, you can do much better than that. You shouldn't just be satisfied. It's the same thing with coaching, CJ. If coaches feel that you could do a lot better to help yourself and the team, they should challenge you, and there's various ways to challenge people. What are your thoughts on that and maybe an ideal coach?
For me, just like Tyler, I think an ideal coach is someone who's always going to be there for you, whether it's on the field for us, or if it's off the field. So just being in school, knowing you need help in that way. So I think it's always someone that's going to be there for you no matter what it is.
You both took the road least traveled, meaning that you took the road, unlike some that make a lot of mistakes and maybe don't follow expectations, don't understand they're on a platform. When you think back to maybe some players that didn't live up to what their expectations were. Did you struggle with that at all, CJ?
For me, I didn't, no. I mean, just living up to the expectations, I think it's not only like yourself, but thinking about other people too. So like for the expectation for you do the best you can, and that's the best you can put forward towards the team.
Tyler, is it hard to be on that platform? Now, meaning that a lot of people don't really want the spotlight on them because you're really you're really watched by different demographic groups all the time. I mean, there's no question about it. And it's not easy, and a lot of people don't want that. How did you handle that?
I think I just kind of took it as like an opportunity to be a leader, because when you're in that spotlight and you're in that platform, you have people following you and paying attention to what you're doing. And you could take that in a negative way and do things that are bad that made you look poorly, and the people that are following you could see those things, or you could take it in a positive way and be a leader for those little kids or people that are younger than you looking up to you, so you can be a role model for them.
Good. Well, getting to that level of a college athlete, an elite athlete, which both of our guests are, we're going to kind of explore that when we come back. We're going to step aside just for a minute. When we come back, more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Again today, it's kind of a look back and a catching up with C.J. Siegel from Logan, now at the University of North Dakota, along with Tyler Hughes on Alaska, and now same colors at Winona State. Well, C.J., the transition to Division I, University of North Dakota, home of the Fighting Hawks.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
The difficulty, but this is something that a lot of people maybe aren't totally aware of, and that's the new redshirt rule. Mm-hmm. You being a freshman, and you were a big part of that. Share that with us, please.
So the new redshirt rule is you can come in as a freshman and play up to 4 games with allowing to keep your redshirt. So I played in 4 games this year, and it was just a good experience overall, just being out on the field and knowing the game speed and knowing how it is at the next level. And
in those 4 games, I read that you had a pass breakup, and you also had a quarterback sack versus Sacramento State. Mm-hmm. But again, Division I, what a gift to be able to go to Division I. And that redshirt, was that hard for you to be redshirted when you were at the center of attention and you played all the time as a high school athlete?
It's hard just not being on the field, because I always want to be on the field, but at the same time, I know the coaches make the right decisions and everything like that, and I know I'm going to have a big year, hopefully, coming up here next year, so I think it'll pay off from there.
Well, in high school, you came from a quality program, both of you did. Practices were challenging somewhat, I'm sure, well organized, but you're at a whole new level now. And the transition, a lot of people can't handle going from a smaller school and going into the big time. Both of you went to the big time. How hard were practices? Compare them to what you saw in high school.
For me, I think it's how you approach practice every day. So for high school, there are times where practice was hard, times maybe you didn't want to go. But in college, I feel like as you're there every day, you know, and you're building your way to the national championship every single practice. So it's how you approach it, but also practice. They prepare you the right way every single day. So if you approach it the right way, I mean, practice is going to be easy.
So you can't take any drills or any time off during the practice. I mean, unlike high school where, Tyler, you probably could just sort of kind of drift into some mediocrity for a drill or two, but boy, at Winona State, and by the way, as well as an elite athlete Division II, you talk about your red shirt too as a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, there are some times when you're in high school where you can kind of dip off and you'll still be okay because obviously at that level you're kind of one of the top people of that sort. But once you get to college, I mean, there's no time for that. Like CJ said, you got to attack practice every day with the goal in mind, and you got to be focused with the practices being longer and more grueling and stuff like that. You just got to be ready to go every day. And I mean, I trust the coaches and all that stuff, and they got everything down to like an exact science for everything we do. So it's a good set.
Drills a lot more intense too?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's a little more like not as much individual stuff. It's a lot of like team-oriented things on our team, but for the most part, it's pretty intense.
And you were redshirted as a freshman, and then as a sophomore, you just finished your 2018 season. Talk about how you felt about that.
Redshirting was, I mean, it was a little tough at first because you're used to just being out there all the time, playing every minute, and being more the center of attention, and once you get to redshirting, you're kind of more of a scout team, getting the guys that are playing ahead of you ready for the games each week, and that's tough. But once you get past the not getting to play every week part, you kind of learn your role, and I feel like there's positives to that as well. And this year, getting a chance to be on the field a little bit and get my feet wet was a good opportunity for me.
Okay, so were you satisfied with 2018?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm still learning so much, and 2018 was a big year of learning for me, so that was awesome.
So what have the coaches shared with you, Tyler, what your role will be in 2019 and perhaps beyond?
Yeah, I mean, I know I talked to the coaches at the end of the season, and they're looking at me to be a leader on our team and looking for an increased role in our offense and on the special team, stuff like that. But we had some guys graduate that were really leaders in our wide receiver room, and I know I've talked to the coaches a lot about stepping up and being that leader and taking over.
And of course, the offense, you being a wide receiver, and the offense much more, I presume, sophisticated than what you saw at Onalaska?
Yeah, I mean, at Onalaska, we had some pretty intense stuff too, but it seemed like secondhand knowledge, like you were just so used to it. And coming into a new system, it was kind of overwhelming at first, and there's just a lot of depth to it. So like even if you pick things up fast, there's just so much to learn that took a while, but now I feel like I'm really getting a good understanding of it.
And of course, the expectations as a D1 athlete, light years different than what you were in high school with the weight training and nutrition and you name it. So give our viewers a little bit of what is life like for you as a D1 athlete in terms of the expectations that the coaches have for you?
Honestly, it's a routine every day, so it's good to roll into. Just waking up early, 6:30 every morning to lift, and knowing you don't really have time to do anything else throughout the day. So going to classes right after that, going to practice, and watching film for a couple hours and going out to practice. And then by that time, you're eating. And after you eat, it's already like 7 or 8 o'clock sometimes. So and then you got to do homework. So then after that, you just go to bed. So honestly, it's just a routine. You just fall into it.
And so a lot of people probably could not handle that because would I be correct in saying there's not a lot of room and time for nonsense?
No, there is none. As a D1 athlete, there is none. You have a goal to complete every day.
Because they really monitor what you do in the classroom too.
Exactly, yeah.
Speaking of the classroom, how were your classes and did you struggle with any of those, the transition, and what's your major, and just talk about your whole academic side?
Right now my major is business economics. I don't know if I'll change it in the business field, but that's what it is right now. And classes for me, I enjoy them. There are some challenging classes, of course, but being a freshman in college, I enjoyed most of my classes. They went pretty well. So.
And of course, you were an outstanding student in the classroom at Onalaska. And of course, the same expectations and monitoring grades and so on happens at Winona State, too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a step up, and some of the like courses and guidelines for your classes are a little different. Like where there's not as many assignments and homeworks, and it's more test oriented. But that just means you have to focus more on like studying and getting your stuff done every day.
So, CJ alluded to his schedule, which begins early in the morning and goes until late at night with weight training and so on. I presume yours is similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. We got our lifting that starts at like 6, like CJ said, start that every day, and then we normally have some meetings after for our team stuff. Then I usually go to class for most of the morning, get a little time for a break, watch film, and go to the training room, get ready for practice. Then after that, I mean, you eat dinner with your teammates, and by that time it's already 6:37. You got to go home and finish your homework and get a good night's sleep for the next day. So.
I read an article about tips to become a college athlete, and one of them, there were several of them, but a couple that stood out to me was one, coachability. And of course, you were both coachable as athletes, and that's a lesson for some people that maybe wonder about how to be successful at any level, and that's have an appetite to learn and not thinking and knowing everything, but being that coachable kind of young person that that relishes having a coach share things and work with them and get on them and so on. Would you say that's true, that coachability is maybe one of the biggest things?
Yeah, I mean, especially at the next level. Like, I feel like everybody comes in when you're playing, you're more of a top player at your high school, but everybody's that good. So it's the next step that you take by listening to your coaches. Like, they're there for a reason. That's their job. That's what they do for a living. And they're telling you the right things. And if you can't handle that stuff, it's going to be tough for you to last around there. Well,
and CJ, along with you, Tyler, was a outstanding, gifted, tremendous high school athlete, but you're at a different level now, and I'm sure that you would agree that you need to have maybe a different approach to working with coaches.
Exactly, yeah. So just working with coaches, knowing that they're there for a reason and it's their job. And if you try going against it or don't agree with it, you're just hurting your team in the end. So you all have the same goal and all have the same plan. The coaches want you to succeed on the field, so they're going to put you in the best position.
One of the really focal points, a component of being a college athlete, more so now than maybe in the modern era than a few decades ago, is nutrition and monitoring your meals and talking to you all about strength training and nutrition. How much of a part is that at the University of North Dakota?
It's huge. I mean, for me especially, I eat at least 3,000 calories a day, and just eating so much more vegetables and fruits and stuff I didn't even know I need in my body. So, and you need that especially if you're gonna, play at our level, Division I, Division II. So you can't go through practice every day, even sleep. I didn't know I need that much sleep, 8 hours a day. So, yeah, it's a big role in success.
And of course, the off season is a big part of training too, because you don't just train during the season. And nutrition and off season training and staying in the kind of shape that you both are, that's a big part of Warrior football too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we take our nutrition very seriously, and we talk a lot about sleep and that stuff, because if you don't get those two things, I mean, your body's going to start to shut down, and your body needs to be at its peak performance every day for whether you're in class or whether you're in meetings or practice and stuff like that.
So now that the coaches, you're at a holiday break, and you can deviate somewhat perhaps from that disciplined nutritional diet, you still probably adhere to that as if you were in college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can't afford to take any time off. You're going to be coming back, and you're going to have workouts and that stuff starting up right again. You can't be putting yourself behind the 8 ball.
And as we tape the show here on January 2nd, you've just in a short time from now, you'll be back working out.
For sure, yeah. I mean, but we've been working out pretty much the whole time we've been off, basically, and just getting ready. It's just more on your own stuff, but getting ready for when it starts back in January.
And CJ, as a Division I athlete, you don't take any time off either.
Nah, there's no time off. No matter what you're doing, you have something to do every day. I don't think I've had a day where I've had time to just relax and just hang loose. So.
That's okay, isn't it?
That's okay. Yeah.
These guys are even good enough to take time from their holiday break and come on 7 Rivers Sports.
Yes.
That's pretty special. And we always like to catch up with athletes that have not only been outstanding in their respective sports, but outstanding young people like C.J. Siegel is and like Tyler Hughes. So we applaud that, and we thank you for being on the show. And again, as we tape the show here on January 2nd, Happy New Year, and we'll be following you at Winona and at the University of North Dakota. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back with some clips of a recent game right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team.
Who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, Art and I were at Central High School on Monday night for a big game, Intercity and MVC game. The Central Red Raiders hosting the Aquinas Blue Gulls. Well, it was a big night because it was Parents' Night, and Central High School honored 40-year celebration of the 1979 team that went 23-2 and went to the state tournament. Quite a spectacle last night at Central. The Red Raiders, well, were they ready for an upset? Possibly so, but the Aquinas Blue Gulls were not up to the task. Central ranked second in this week's Associated poll for Division II, put together a 17-2 run early on and built a tremendous lead at halftime on their way to another win. Johnny Davis led the Red Raiders with 21 points, 9 for 12, shooting from the floor. Central had 3 other players in double figures. Jordan Davis, 15, Terrence Thompson, 13, and Noah Parcher, our player of the game, with 12. Brandon Murfelt continued to play well, hitting 3 3-pointers and finished with 14 points. Aquinas drops to 8-12 and 5-5 in the MVC and finishes the season this week against Sparta before they go into the postseason. Central, 2 big games this week, hosting both Eau Claire North and Madison Memorial before they take a bye into their postseason, and we will follow these teams here on KQEG. Final score from Central High School, the Red Raiders 96 and the Blue Gulls 43. Well, that does it this week on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy week.